Dee Dee is trying to feed her son Tommy some sort of green baby food in the kitchen. She scoops up some of the food in a spacecraft-shaped spoon made for babies and tells her son, "Nummy nums, that's right, nummy nums," to coax him into eating it. Tommy, however, doesn't seem to find the food to be very appetizing, covers his eyes at his mother as his mother tries in vain to feed him. Noticing that her son is resisting the food, Dee Dee calmly tells her son, "Oh, come on, Tommy, I know you're hungry. Really, honey, you've got to eat something." She then attempts the old trying the food herself and saying she likes it trick by saying, "Look, Mommy likes it," and pretending to eat it. She really only puts the food close to her mouth and dumps it back into the bowl, hoping Tommy won't notice. And saying, "Mmm," her husband Stu then walks into the kitchen from the backyard, donning garden attire, and tells the two, "Ah, the great outdoors, working in the yard, really makes you, in tune with nature." As he washes his hand in the kitchen, Stu's father Lou comes into the scene and interjects, nature? You call that mudhole nature?" Stu replies, "Well, I'm not finished yet, Pop. I still gotta put the trees in." Out the window, Stu is landscaping the family's entire backyard. From outside the window, there are mounds of dirt holes in the ground, and recently purchased young trees next to the house, ready for planting. Lou scoffingly replies, "Trees? You call those twigs trees? Ha ha! Why, when we lived up in moose country, we didn't bother with anything smaller than a mighty redwood." Stu questions as he wipes his wet hands dry with a towel. "Moose country? I don't remember any moose back at home, Pop." Dee Dee interrupts and tells her husband, "Now, Stu, don't forget we have Phil, Lil, and Chucky coming soon." Stu replies, "Oh, yeah, we gotta get going. I gotta get some more mulch." Dee Dee then puts Tommy's bowl of food down on the table of the high chair. Tommy is sitting in and walks away with the spoon. She openly suggests that they set up a playpen outside for the babies and that Lou keeps an eye on them. Lou agrees to the task while no one is looking. Tommy picks up his full bowl of food and puts it on his head like a hat, and the bowl's contents trickle down Tommy's head and he licks some of the food. Later on in the backyard, Tommy, Chucky, Phil, and Lil all in are all in the are all in said playpen. It's a different kind of playpen than the simple barrier in the family living room they usually keep the babies in. And the babies can only be lifted out of this sort of playpen. And Lou's in the middle of recounting an encounter he and his own father supposedly had with a ginormous bull moose decades earlier. Lou claims the moose was just a hair bigger than the house, but then takes it back after a pause. Well, maybe he wasn't as big as the house, but he was certainly bigger than the garage. Tommy and his friends are nevertheless intrigued by his grandfather's supposedly true story. Luke continues, "Anywho, the whole Pickles clan had a moose for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The remainder of the Great Depression," slightly mispronounces the person. "Now that was real food. Not like that green mush you've been eating." And just what did the moose look like, you say? Well, I just happen to have his picture right here in my wallet. Lou then takes out his wallet and produces what appears to be a small black and white photograph of a large moose standing on a rock in the middle of a forest with the sun shining in the background. He holds the photo up in front of his grandson's face and states, "Here he is, 15 tons, a bull moose," and Tommy smiles back, quite interested. Lou then sits down in a reclining lawn chair and states that he can still sometimes taste said moose, and he then promptly falls asleep. We then shift attention to the babies. Tommy points out to his friends that his grandfather had fallen asleep, and he suggests that they themselves go look for a moose like he was talking about. Phil and Lil reply, "Yeah, Chucky," who's looking closely at an insect on the floor of the playpen, as in, "There's no moose around here, Tommy." Tommy rebuts, "How will we ever know for sure if we won't go out and look for one?" Chucky then points out that the kind of playpen they're in is inescapable, even with a screwdriver. But Tommy then notices how the insect Chucky was looking at was able to climb up the side and fly away. This gives him an idea. Tommy has Chucky stand against the side of the playpen, and He then climbs up onto Chucky's head. This causes Chucky to lose his balance, stumble around, and almost fall over, and Tommy instructs Phil and Lil to hold Chucky's hands to keep him steady. Phil and Lil scramble to get a hold of Chucky, both walking around him in circles, as Chucky stumbles back over to the side of the playpen, but they eventually get themselves secure, though Chucky continues to strain under Tommy's weight. Tommy then produces a squeak toy in the shape of a hot dog, tells his friends to watch, and begins to squeak it while holding it up. The squeaking gets the attention of Tommy's dog Spike, who's rolling around in a patch of flowers and thick grass on the side of the house. The strained Chucky gruntily states, "Come on, Tommy, you're too heavy." Spike then runs over, grabs a squeak toy with his teeth, and begins to tug on it whilst Tommy continues to hold on, and in tugging on the toy whilst Tommy holds onto it and hangs on the playpen side. Spike, with the help of the baby's weighted shift to the side of the playpen, also tips the playpen onto its side, and this knocks the babies out. The baby's now free. Tommy raises the toy and Spike runs off with it. As Chucky, Phil, and Lil lie on the ground, Tommy states, "Wow, moose country." Chucky, thinking for a moment that Tommy was referring to the insect from earlier that's now on the ground next to him, replies, "It's not a moose, Tommy. It's just a bug." Tommy then corrects him, "No, not that. That," pointing to the backyard, where the young trees, ready to be planted, potted plants, and the mounds of dirt somewhat make it look like something of a vast countryside to someone the size of a toddler. As Tommy and his friends pick themselves up, Tommy continues, "Come on, Chucky, we're gonna find us a moose," and he, Phil, and Lil start on their way. After a brief pause, Chucky somewhat reluctantly follows, but not long after, Chucky begins to have a second thought, and he stops, looks back towards the house, and says, "I don't know, Tommy. I don't think this is such a good idea." But Chucky then turns around and notices how far behind he now is, and, not wanting to be alone, rushes to catch up with everyone else.